Hello again. Okay, in this lesson we're going to talk about how to rearrange. We're going to create some layers and talk about how to rearrange the order of layers, show you how to do that, and then how to clip some layers together. And in the process we're going to talk about a few more things going on over here with the layers palette. Alright, as we've seen before, we can make a duplicate, a copy of this background. We can just do that by dragging right down here to create a new layer. Now we have our background copy. Down the road we'll be talking about this lock. We do have a lock on a background. Let's just go show you that we can remove that. I just simply click on that lock, hold down, and drag it to the trash can. Throw it away. Now the background is turned to a layer, layer 0. Right now we don't want that, but it is something that you can be aware of, how to do something. So we're going to Control Z to undo that. Alright, let's say that maybe we want to perform some action. We're going to do a few things here so we can show you what's going on with layers in order of layers. Let's go ahead and just take and use our hue and saturation adjustment layer to change the hue quite a bit. Oh, notice we're not seeing any effect because we have all of these toggled on. Let's turn off this layer right there. So now we see that we're having an effect as we drag this around. Right. Now when we toggle this background copy back on, notice it's as if these layers don't even exist, because whatever's happening on this top layer affects everything below it at this point. Notice that we can take this particular layer and put it above, move its position in the queue, and now the effect is applying regardless of which background or background copy we have toggled on. Okay? And when we create a new layer, it always is created above the current layer that we're on. So right now we are on the hue and saturation layer. Let's just go to a black and white layer. Let's go ahead and click this arrow to select these and come up here and choose a black and white adjustment layer. Notice this actually popped up above the hue and saturation layer. Well, for fun, let's rearrange its order. Let's put the hue and saturation above it, which now puts the black and white directly above, right here. Now we can toggle our hue and saturation on and off, and it has absolutely no effect because everything from here down has gone black and white. So hue and saturation no longer means anything. Alright, so what we're going to do now is use this black and white layer, make some adjustments to it. And for fun, let's just grab our sliders and start running them around and find something that we like. Oh yeah, very little effect here. It's just happening right above here. So let's just run this a little brighter. We don't need that shadow to be that strong. Yeah, that looks fine there. Take our yellow slider, run it around. Okay, there's definitely effect going on. Let's see. Somewhere around here. Our greens. Well, it helps us separate out our grasses by running back in a different direction. Maybe that's a little too far. About right there. Cyans. And it's really having largest effect in the sky. Just kind of pull that back for there. Blacks. Now let's just call that magentas. I don't really see anything. We'll just run that back to 0. Alright, so we've made some black and white adjustments. You can toggle them on and off. Let's go ahead and turn the hue and saturation off for the moment. So we toggle this on and off. Alright, we can see that we've made some really nice adjustments there, making a black and white image. Notice though, if we turn this background copy off, it's still black and white because this is being applied to every layer beneath it. Well, in Photoshop we have a way that we can apply just this adjustment or adjustments above it to, let's say, just this background copy. And we do that using this little icon right here. If we hover over it, it'll give us some information. It's clips. Click to clip to layer. What's going to happen is if we click on it, this layer will clip together with this layer. And we'll notice this icon change just a little bit. So take a good look at it. We'll click. The icon now is The top part of the circle went away, and now it shows kind of like a clipping to the bottom. This arrow here pops up and it says, aha, I'm clipped to this layer beneath it. This background copy is now underlined, so it's showing you, hey, this layer here is now clipped to this layer. What that means now is that if we turn this layer off, notice this went a little dimmer. This layer is no longer being applied in the image. The only thing going all the way through is this hue and saturation. So the hue and saturation, which is not clipped to layer, is being applied to everything beneath. And when we turn off this black and white section right here, the hue and saturation applies to the background. We'll turn that back on. Now, what we can do to make this a little clearer is we can take this hue and saturation that we really does nothing when it's applying to black and white, and we can move it down here, and we've positioned it right above this the background. So let's turn off up here, and we can have this effect down here, and we can see what's going on here. Or we can toggle this on. This black and white no longer passes through and has any effect down here because it is clipped to the background copy. So that is a look at how to rearrange the order of your layers, to show you that rearranging the order of layers can have an impact in the image. And we've also showed you how to clip an image together incidentally. If you want to ever unclip, you can right click right here and then release clipping mask. And now down here, it doesn't matter what we turn on and off, it's all going to be black and white unless we turn off the black and white layer. So that is very important for us to realize, that we can rearrange the order and that it does have some impact, and we can also clip clip layers together if we so choose to. Now honestly, for what we do as landscape photographers, or more accurately what I do as a landscape photographer, I don't think I've ever clipped a layer together to utilize it in any fashion in creating a landscape photograph. Yeah, I'm sure there's ways you can do that. It has not entered into my workflow, but it's something you should be aware of.